Welcome to another video. Who doesn't love some good AI tools, right? Better yet, when they're actually good and make a difference. And even better, when they're not well known by many. Because if you know about them before others, you can impress others with your knowledge, right? Well, today I'm going to tell you about such a tool that I recently discovered, and it's really good. And do you know who made it? Well, it's none other than our favorite AI company. No, it's not from OpenAI, but actually it's from Google. Yes, some days ago, when Google made multiple announcements in their AI lineup, like Gemini models and multiple other such things. But they also released some experiments that they didn't talk much about. But the one that really intrigued me was this code transformer. Well, to start, let me tell you what code transformer is. If we look at its README, we can see that they say code transformation is the model capability to edit existing code, taking as input code context with natural language instructions and turning it into a code diff. The model being served in this playground is an experimental model, not used in production right now, optimized for Python and simple tasks. You can do multiple things with it, like documenting code. Yes, it can write literal documentation for it. Secondly, it will help you reduce code nesting, which means you can give it your messy code, and it can understand its functionality and transform it into better code. Hence, the tool's name, Code Transformer. One catch is that it only supports Python as of now, so it's not for people who use other programming languages. Anyway, it can also clean up your code, fix errors in your code, as well as complete your code. Which means if you give it a code with incomplete code, or just give it a code with comments about what needs to be done, then it can generate that code for you and complete your program. It can basically do anything related to coding that you may want. Plus, because it's an experiment, it's fully free, and there are no apparent limits to it as well. You can use it all you want. Before I show you how to exactly use it, let me first show you some examples that the research team has shared, which will help us understand what this tool is actually capable of. Okay, now look at this code. You can pause the video and take a look. Now, if you're a somewhat good programmer, you can notice this part. Here, an if condition is written, which corresponds to if the dataset is equal to animal, then it will run the underlying code. But if you look at the underlying code, then you'll see there are two other if conditions with the same dataset variable that check for turtle and formal turtle. But this doesn't make sense, because this if condition is never going to be true, because the parent of this nested if is with the same variable. Another issue with this code is that instead of writing ifs inside this else block, you could just write else if and get it much more optimized. These are the problems that are mostly there. Well, now let's see what the code transformer should output according to the researchers if we give it this input. As you can see, it understands the code really well and outputs extremely correct code. It fixed everything that was wrong with the code with just one prompt, which was to clean up the code. It's really cool. Now, let's have a look at its exact functioning by checking out their playground. Now, once you come over here, you can see that it gives you a default program. Well, it's supposed to be a depth-first search program, but it's quite messy. So, before doing anything, let's first ask it to add a documentation to it, so we can know what it's doing. Okay, as you can see, it adds it over here. It pretty much explains what the function does. It's a depth-first search, so you can see it explains it over here. And it also tells about the arguments that this function utilizes and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Now, let's ask it to clean up the code over here. Okay, as you can see, the fixed code is now over here. You can take a look at it. The best thing about this is that it generates code diffs, which allows you to better understand what it has actually changed and pinpoint the exact changes. It's pretty cool. Now, let's try to complete a code with it. Over here, I have given it a program that is not complete, but I have added in the comments about what I actually want to do. Here, I want to print numbers from 1 to x, where x is the variable that is passed to the function here. Okay, let's send it and see if it can complete it. Okay, so we have the complete code over here. You can see that it completes it pretty well. It's really good and to the point. So, you can pretty much use it to complete your incomplete codes as well. Pretty cool. Then you can just hit this green arrow over in the middle, and it will get the fixed code transferred to the left. Okay, now let's try it with another program. Here, I am giving it a program that prints a Fibonacci sequence. But as you can see, it's pretty unoptimized, and it's barely readable at all. You can see here in this line, I have all the variables defined in one line. Plus, the variable names are somewhat disguised, and you cannot tell that which variable does what. I have also added multiple stuff in just one line. So, let's ask it to fix it. Okay, so we have the fixed code over here. One thing I have to say is that it's very fast, for sure. Anyway, if we look at it, you can see that it's pretty good. It almost wrote everything from scratch, and wrote it pretty well. The code over here is also really well put together. The best part is that it doesn't just take the code and put a predefined structure to it, but instead, it understands the code and then makes the move. It's really interesting. It really made the code extremely well and readable. So, overall, it's a really amazing tool. It's simple to use and works really well. It's one of the tools that I'm really going to keep in my arsenal. You can generate documentation, code, and whatnot. It's really cool to say the least. Anyway, let me know in the comments if you liked it or not. Also, if you liked this video, consider donating to my channel through the Super Thanks option below this video. Also, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, bye.